Hello, this is Monique McDonald. And if you're looking for more one-on-one help with your voice and how to make it magnetic, I want to invite you to check out my coaching packages at themagneticvoice.com. Then click Transform with Monique and book a complimentary connection call. Let's see if we can find a package for you that will fit all of your needs. I'm so grateful for your listening to the Magnetic Voice podcast, and I can't wait to meet you and continue the conversation. Take care. See you soon.
Welcome to the Magnetic Voice, here on the Experience of the Soul podcast channel, a show where speakers and singers learn how to be more magnetic and align their voices to the divine within. Today, episode 75, Becoming Me. And now your host, Monique McDonald.
Hello and welcome to the Magnetic Voice podcast. My name is Monique McDonald, known to many as the Magnetic Voice, and I am here with the beautiful Shannon Kropf. Hey, Shannon.
Hi, Monique. Hi, everybody out there listening. It's such a pleasure to be with you and such an honor to spend just a little time with Monique and our listeners. It's just a great day.
It's a good day, isn't it?
It is.
I have to tell you, Shannon, I have been going through a very interesting time of transformation. It's this, my mother used to call it this trapeze moment.
Oh, God.
Right? Yeah. Where you've swung and you've let go of that old way of being, right? And you're still working out that new way of being. And you're just praying that trapeze bar that is swinging towards you, you'll be able to catch. And it's this very strange sensation of, I know who I am. I know what I do. I know all of this, but my way of being is changing. Which is different than who I am.
Right?
Because I know who I am. Fundamentally, I know who I am. But my way of experiencing life, my way of experiencing others, my way of being is changing. And, I was trying to explain to somebody what it feels like. It's like, I'm totally dating myself, but the bionic woman or the bionic man?
Yeah.
And they'd run and they couldn't show that they were running faster. So themselves would be behind themselves and you'd go, ging, 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 and they'd...
Right.
And they'd catch up with themselves. That's sort of what it feels like.
Right. Well, when you were talking about this trapeze moment, I thought, I'm so visual. So I'm envisioning it in my mind. And, if you only look at that one instant where you're between the trapezes, trapeze is, whatever. If you had a picture of just that one moment, it looks like you're floating in midair. If you don't see what's flying,
Yes.
And so it's scary, but also fun and not something you do all the time, and takes some guts, right?
Absolutely. And it is, I think we've been taught it's scary. I think we truly believe that we're supposed to feel the earth under our feet, right? That's the normal state of normal. That's what makes us feel safe. The law of gravity is the one that we know the best.
Right. Intimately acquainted with the law of gravity.
And that feeling, that that, you know, it's the same kind of thing at dawn and at midnight, at sunset, right? So that the tween places, right? That
right.
twilight moment where it's neither light nor dark. It's kind of both and neither. It's that, which are my favorite times of the day.
Right. Me too.
Where it's a suspension. It's a kind of a place where magic happens, right? Where anything is possible.
Right.
It's that I used to play with runes a lot. I haven't for a while, so I may have to break out my runes. Runes are scrying stones, and they're a divination tool like tarot cards, and they each represent different aspects of life, and there's one that's blank, and they call it pure potential. There's nothing and everything present, and a lot of us have caught on, right, that too much doing is too much doing, and that we need to do more being, right?
Right.
But for a lot of us, being feels empty. Interesting, right?
Yeah.
Because we don't know ourselves if we're not doing.
Right.
But I've also been playing with this idea of giving and receiving, and being able to receive, and specifically abundance, but not only abundance, love, things that are new, a new perspective, like just to be able, and we live in these good, bad, night, day, right, wrong, being, doing. We tend to be in these dualities. And the word becoming somehow feels like both of those things, doing and being.
Right.
But it's not any kind of forcing of anything. It's like a seed becomes a plant.
Right.
It just happens.
Right.
And when we're in that space of becoming, there's a wholeness to it. Like I was thinking about this, if I experienced myself as whole and complete and fully integrated, what would I do?
Right. Do you have an answer
How would
for that?
I be different?
Or are we just asking the question?
Yes, I'm asking the question, but I would love to hear your ideas about this.
Oh, geez. I've zinged off in so many directions in my head while you've been talking. How to even gather my thoughts? I'm just like,
yay!
Oh, this
no worries.
And this
Take
and this
your
and
time.
this and this.
I know. It's a lot, but it's a fun journey.
It is. The word becoming, which you were just talking about, I saw it newly for the first time, that be is coming. To be is on its way. Like, okay, we're still making this journey toward being satisfied with being, and letting the doing flow out of the being, I guess.
Yeah.
But so being is coming. You are becoming I don't know. It's just a weird word thing. But, and I was also thinking about, I don't know why this popped into my head, but the idea of liminal spaces.
Yes.
Do you know what liminal spaces are?
Tell me
it's
what.
It's kind of an architectural thing.
Are those the empty spaces in a drawing?
Empty spaces. It started architecturally with the idea that, like, you know, a hotel hallway that doesn't have anybody in it. It's there, but it's not occupied, and it may not be it's this in between. And so this concept has kind of risen up into the space and the time between what has been and what will be. Mm-hmm. And so we're talking about this liminal space of the soul, really.
Yes, I love that, because for me, becoming doesn't have a destination.
Right.
It doesn't have a result.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's that thing about being everywhere and nowhere.
Right. Right.
To release all ideas of what we are,
mm-hmm.
our identity,
mm-hmm.
which is hard.
Right.
Right? Because, you know, I identify myself as a Grammy-nominated award-winning opera singer, which is hilarious because most days I don't feel like that person.
Right, right. Absolutely.
You know, that is a truth, but I'm also becoming something else.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And when I think about, well, what do you want to become, or where do you want to go from there? That's not it. I'm kind of allowing for this idea of having, rather than that struggle of feeling loved or feeling left,
mm-hmm.
feeling abundant or feeling like, where the hell's the money?
Right. Right.
You know, feeling totally healthy and feeling like I'm exhausted and can't get out of bed. There's these opposites that mm-hmm. keep showing up. And so I end up seeing myself or experiencing myself as not good enough, not enough.
Right. Well, and I would add to that so much of our identity is built around the doing.
Yes.
Most of the time when you meet somebody new and you say, hey, who are you? What do you do? They're going to tell you about their job. Mm-hmm. They're not going to tell you, oh, I'm a very tender-hearted person who, you know, loves cats and drawing, and I'm a great listener. That would never be the first thing out of anybody's mouth, because our identity is in the doing rather than in the being. And how to shift that, I think, is where we're all working toward, you know?
Yes. But also not to get caught up in another duality of being or doing, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So a friend of mine who is one of my mentors, and she's amazing. And she was trying to enroll me into Givers University, which is this, you know, you can imagine what this is. I have no idea really truly what it is, but I am so clear that I don't want to be Givers anything. I'm done with giving is where I was in my head, right? Because there's a feeling that I have, my give button has been stuck on for a long time, right? So I want to be in Receivers University. I was totally on board, right?
Yes.
But then I realized it's the same kind of duality.
Right.
It's not, I am a giver. That is what I am.
Yeah.
And I'm learning how to receive as well. And what I know is that we are receivers as well. We receive information. We receive many things all the time, but I'm not aware of it. So then it started to occur to me, okay, what if I don't have to choose? What if I'm both? What if I'm not thinking big enough? What if I increase my experience of myself as both?
Right.
And I don't have to shut one off in order to be the other.
Yes. It's not like a faucet, it's either on or off, or we have, we live in Florida, we have a pool. And in this pool, you have to be able to add water and you have to be able to release water, because sometimes it rains like crazy and gets so full, and sometimes it doesn't rain for a while. So you got to fill the pool up again. And it is strictly one or the other. You are either putting water in or you're taking water out. And there's no sharing of that. And so as you're saying this, I'm thinking, how do you create something where it's in and out at the same time? How do you open up your consciousness big enough to give and receive all at once?
Yes. Because when we realize and experience ourselves as that's the image in which we're made.
Right. Right.
We are not abundance or lack.
Right.
Our giving and receiving is so great that there cannot be lack.
Right.
There's all of it. There can't be the opposite of it, because it encompasses everything.
Yeah. And the idea that you can have and share at the same time. You can have something and share it. Like, I don't know, the world's biggest birthday cake. I don't know.
Yes. But it does get tangled up, right? Because we've all been taught it is better to give than to receive. Okay. So what do most of us do? And I was on board with this for a long time. I'm going to give and give and give, because that means I'm going to get something.
Right.
But again, that to what I'm understanding in my trapeze moment today is that's thinking too small. That's not becoming the entire universe that is me, right? That brings me to my favorite Rumi quote. You're not a drop in the ocean. You're the ocean in a drop.
Nice. Right. Rumi is, oh my God.
Oh, Rumi, right? Oh. And I think that when we get caught up, we find ourselves in these dualities, right? Because I realize I'm not enjoying this trapeze moment. I want to get to the good part, right? I want to get to what's next.
But this is the good part.
Exactly. What if this is the good part, where I'm all of it and none of it?
Right.
I'm Monique, past, present, future.
Right.
I'm not the Grammy-nominated award-winning singer. I'm not the person that's off to Vegas to have another conference and shine and be fantastic, which I'm doing tomorrow. Right. I'm all of it and none of it.
Right.
I'm also the Monique that's quiet and doesn't speak. Right. I'm all of it. And that these moments when we find ourselves in transition are those moments when we get to really look.
Yeah.
Really look at the expansiveness of who we truly are. And that it has little to do with what we do.
Right.
However, when we only do from this expansiveness of who we are,
right,
our creativity is off the hook. Because
the
we're not
charts.
trying to impress anybody. We're not trying to live up to our reputation of the past. We're not trying to feel valuable. If we produce enough, we'll feel valuable. No, we are coming from this expansive you-ness, me-ness, that is all of it and everything. So then when I move, when I do, when I'm in my most creative space where anything is possible.
That's right. That's good. That's good. We should meditate on that, my friend.
Let's meditate on that, my friend. Thanks for being here with me, Shannon. Absolutely. And our darling Dave.
Thank you, Dave.
The man behind the scenes. And all of you here listening to us, we're so grateful for you. And thank you for being here. Ooh, I invite you to take a deep centering breath. Take all of that deliciousness around becoming in as you inhale, and release whatever is not becoming. Inhale love and feel love fill your entire being. And exhale whatever is not love. And now enjoy inhaling pure happiness. And exhaling and releasing whatever is not that. And now I invite you to take a deep breath and inhale your own divine soul energy. Your soul energy. And releasing whatever is not that. And today I invite you to really tune your entire being to your soul, the energy, the expansion, the allness that is you. We are created in the image of the divine creator. We are part of it, and it is part of us. So now in this moment, tune in to that feeling of suspension. That in-between place that we often have resistance to. That place that is in the twilight. between day and night, between yes and no, between I am everything and I am nothing. I am every identity, every archetype, and I release my identity, and I am pure soul, pure, just breath, anima, and breathe and become the true essence of you and embrace it. Allow it. Open to it. You are one star in a heaven full of stars, and you are the entire sky. You are constantly becoming more and more you. Thank you for your courage. Thank you for taking the moments of tuning yourself to the truth of your being, to embrace your becoming. And creating what is yours to create from here, where all is possible. Thank you. And with another deep breath, we give thanks and fill ourselves with gratitude. And so it is.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of The Magnetic Voice here on the Experience of the Soul podcast channel. This channel is made possible because of listeners just like you. If you would like to support the channel with your tax-deductible contribution on an ongoing basis or through a one-time gift, head over to experienceofthesoul.com/support. The Magnetic Voice is copyright 2022 Monique McDonald, all rights reserved. Our theme music is composed by Dave Croft and used with permission. The Experience of the Soul podcast channel is a production of 818 Studios.
Hey friends, Sean here, your Experience of the Soul producer. I want to take a moment to tell you about something truly exciting. The Soulworks online community, created by your host, Cynthia Alice Anderson, and available on the Mighty Networks app. If you're looking for a place where you can explore your spiritual path, connect with others, and grow in a meaningful way, then this is for you. Soulworks is so much more than an online community. It's a safe, inclusive space for spiritual exploration, self-discovery, and personal transformation. Inside the community, you'll find everything from uplifting spiritual studies to soul-centered growth practices, meditations, affirmations, and so much more. It's a space where you'll always be supported and never judged. The best part, membership is free. You'll have access to powerful resources, inspiring content, and a supportive group of like-minded people who are all on their own unique spiritual journeys. And if you're ready to dive deeper, there are premium options available to enhance your experience, with a live Monday night talk series and extended, deeper meditations. If you're seeking a place to connect, grow, and nurture your soul, we would love to have you join us in the Soulworks community and see where this journey can take you. Visit my.soulworkscommunity.com today.